Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Outs here. It's Friday, and I'm freaking out because Kyle Lowry is transitioning into his next career already in his 20th season of the NBA. Kyle Lowry is the 12th NBA player ever to get 20 seasons in the league. Did you know that? Only the 12th player and only the second point guard to place 20 seasons in the NBA. Chris Paul is the other point guard. No other point guards ever in the history of the NBA have ever played 20 seasons. Chris Paul, Kyle Lowry, the only two. Wow. Yes, it has been announced yesterday that Kyle Lowry will be joining Amazon Prime's broadcast team for this season while he's still playing for the Philadelphia 76ers. It'll be very reminiscent of Draymond Green and what he's been doing the last couple of years. And they have said that this is a move that is going to have Kyle transitioning more and more into doing that job as after he retires. So he's with Amazon. He has told us now what he wants to do after he finishes. And a lot of people were speculating that Kyle Lowry may want to try and coach. And I've said all along, he is never going to coach in this league, y'all. I've very, very much said, like, as much as everybody thinks Kyle Lowry is going to be a coach in the NBA, he's not going to be because he can't handle the knuckleheaded young kids. That's what I'm saying. He can't be a coach in this league because the way the young kids come up and the way they are, he's not going to try and do that. He doesn't have the patience. He's not going to be able to do it. Trust me. So coaching is not in the cards for Kyle Lowry. He's shown that he's going like his friend Danny Green that went to the championships with him in Toronto in 2019, that he's a broadcaster. And he is a broadcaster, and this makes sense. Kyle Lowry is very verbose and very, very astute, and very much has, as some people have put it, old school mentality and perspective on the game. And when he's going to do his analysis, I'm sure he's going to bring up points that everybody may be like, whoa, where'd that come from? You know, on the Barkley scale, I could see Kyle Lowry being more like Charles Barkley than Draymond Green going forward. Like, Lowry has that kind of personality to him, that he's kind of cantankerous and kind of ornery. I mean, we've seen how he's gone at reporters in his career. Like, he will tell you, he'll say something to you in the interview. That was a stupid question. Why did you ask that? It's like, you don't care. He'll say it. And I love that. And in some ways, Kyle Lowry can have that brash bravado like Charles Barkley and still be lovable. That's the difference between some people. Kyle Lowry, most people will like Kyle Lowry. Like, seriously, even though he won a championship in Toronto, a lot of the Americans respect and love Kyle Lowry because they can see what he's all about and who he is. And that's similar to Charles. So, I mean, if anybody's going to be the heir apparent to Charles Barkley coming down the road, I think it's Kyle Lowry now. Because seriously, he has the personality and the silliness and the fun to him that he could be very brash, outspoken, say outrageous things, and be just as loved. Just as loved. Draymond, you can't do it. You're a villain. A lot of us hate you. You cannot have the positive vibes that Barkley has and be that person. It's just not you, bro. It's just not you, man. You're never going to be Charles Barkley. But Kyle Lowry could be Charles Barkley. I'll say that right now. That's fantastic. The article on ESPN does say, once again, that somehow, some way, Kyle Lowry intends to retire as a Toronto Raptor, even if he signs for just one day and comes back and wears that Raptor jersey just for one day, just to get retired as a Toronto Raptor. He's going to do it. He promised us that, and I know he will. And who knows? Maybe almost immediately after that, we'll put his jersey up in the rafters. He won't have to wait like Vince because he is like that with the Toronto Raptors. So I'm celebrating today and freaking out. The news, it was kind of out of the blue. It really wasn't something I was expecting to hear, obviously, because Lowry's playing still, that Amazon would be bringing him in. Apparently, he's going to start work right away. There's a night where the Sixers are not playing, and that Kyle's going to probably work that night. It's October 24th. There's a doubleheader. It's going to be Boston and New York and Minnesota and the Lakers. And Lowry is expected to have some role that night because the Sixers do not have a game that evening. So that's interesting. I'm going to guess he's going to be an in-studio analyst where he's going to sit not at the game, but in a studio with a panel, and he'll sit there and he'll kind of do his little 2 cents. It could very well be because there's different teams for different things. NBC's got their team with Vince and Tracy and Grant Hill and Carmelo Anthony. That Kyle Lowry may be sitting in a booth with Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash and talking with them in the breaks on Amazon Prime coverage. So it's very, very exciting news for Raptors fans. You know, this is the thing. Once again, we have champion Raptors that go on to bigger and better things. Pascal Siakam, Norman Powell, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Kyle Lowry. These guys go on to bigger and better things. And what are you doing, Kawhi? Oh, wait. Yeah, Fred is the president of the Players Association now. Kyle Lowry's already working in television. Amazing stuff. Yeah, Freddie, I feel bad about Freddie still, but I was like, at least, you know, he's got a lot of time to do the President Players Association stuff now, which it sucks, man. I hate that Fred's hurt. But yeah, Kyle Lowry, great stuff, man. I'm proud of you, and you're going to be fantastic. You know, I wasn't sure if he'd do the broadcasting thing, but he really does have the gifts to do it. He is a very, very well-spoken person. He's got a great personality, and you know what? He's got an edge to him that'll make him interesting. You know, he'll be very interesting to see on this role. So, yeah, there's our freak out for today. Good job, GROAT. Good job, Kalo. This is going to be cool. And honestly, you know, if you're going to be doing this for a long time, I'm telling you, you could be the new Barkley. You could be the new Barkley. Forget about Draymond Green. Draymond Green is a wannabe Barkley. He'll never, ever be as popular as Barkley. But Kyle Lowry could be as popular as Barkley to a degree, or at least coming up towards that direction better than Draymond Green. Yeah, let's check in with y'all's comments. We'll do all the segments for today, as we always do, back in the studio. Back in the studio with you guys, back at the Raptor Freak studio. That's right. Trevor J's words of wisdom, first up front. Thank you, Trevor. There is no storm that God won't carry you through, no bridge that God won't help you cross, no battle God won't help you win. Trust God and never give up. The faith in God is important, and in some ways, you know, it's something that you just got to feel and go on your guts. Just kind of, you know, that's the thing. You know, whatever situation you're in, good or bad, praise God. Your life is your life. You know, even when it's bad, praise Him. Because, you know, the opportunity for it to turn around and get good again, well, you better praise then too. I'm just saying, don't wait to praise God and be thankful for your existence, thankful for your life, thankful for the love in your life. Do it today. Do it right this second. I thank you, Lord, for allowing me to have a healthy life with people that love me and safety and good stuff happening in my life. It's that simple. You just have to show gratitude and say it. And honestly, that's the deal. God will look out for you. God will look out for you in mysterious ways. And it will help you out in the times when you think there's nothing there to help you. Something will show up. And that's God speaking to you. Thank you, Trevor J., for your words of wisdom. Faith in God now more than ever. Now more than ever. And lean into it as much as you need to, because God is there for you. Seriously. Trevor J is using a word in his next comment that I do not want to say. I ban this word. I can't believe you were able to write it down. It's supposed to be on my list of words that cannot go into this chat. I don't care if this is about the Sixers. I don't use this word because this word's tricky. And in some ways, I don't want to say it, what you said. I think that, yes, Jared McCain has hurt himself once again. This is 2 years of playing for the rookie Jared McCain last year, and he's gotten hurt both years. And it looks like this one's going to be a few months right at the beginning of the season. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised by this in some ways. I mean, I don't want to say nothing about the Sixers and what you said there. I'll just, you know, I wish everybody luck with their health this year, because that's what I want for our team. And I would say that for their team also. This is a sad news about Jared McCain. But, you know, I'll also say at the same time, Joel Embiid's most likely going to be hurt this year. That's from a scientific point of view, not from in my heart, I want that to happen. That's just me saying something that's probably facts, that's inevitable. So it's different. In some ways, Jared McCain being a young player trying to play in the NBA, but he just can't stay healthy. Well, that's no good, bro. That's no good. And well, maybe the Sixers pick is a bust because he can't stay healthy. We'll just have to see. But yeah, I ain't using that word, Trevor. I won't utter that word. I seen you put it in Discord yesterday. I seen you put it in here, and I'm like, no, Trevor. No. I ain't using that word. I can't. No, we stand away from that word because I don't believe in them. You know, that word can screw up sports franchises so bad. That's why when people like Josh Bloomberg use that word about certain things, it's like, that's irresponsible, J. Lou. It's irresponsible. You don't use that word frivolously. Now, if you're the Chicago Cubs, you're the Boston Red Sox, you're different kinds of teams that their fan base is really established and normalized that word as being something that is in the way of their team. That goes into a whole other area of bullshit and problems and trying to win because psychologically your fan base thinks you can't. So I don't even introduce that word into our nation because that word, it just doesn't belong in our world. Because you know why? Because Messiah was in our world. Because there's no such thing as that when you had Messiah Ujiri on your team running it for 12 years. And even in the post-Messiah era, we ain't all about collecting that word around us in any kind of way because we have enough to go up against as the only Canadian team in the NBA. And we don't need none of this. No. No Leaf mentality. No Leaf mentality. And damn for sure ain't acting like Chicago Cubs or Boston Red Sox fans about that word. I'm going to say that right now. That's right. Congratulations to Kyle from the platform artist that is Trevor J. That's right. Trevor's saying this morning, that Utah Jazz are not going to give Walker Kessler an extension, so he will become a free agent. This is weird, man. I honestly feel like Walker Kessler is one of the best young centers in the league right now. I don't get it. This is a red flag. This is a huge red flag that the Jazz with cool guy Ryan owning their team is not cool with Walker Kessler. Is it because you look like Walker Kessler, Ryan, the owner, that is like the Simpsons dog, the cool dog that has the skateboard and the glasses? That's who he is. His spirit animal is the cartoon dog on Simpsons that skateboards and loves Bart Simpson. You know what I'm saying? If there's some reason why the Jazz don't want Walker Kessler, there's something wrong. Because to me, that young center is one of the better looking young centers that have come out in the draft in the last few years. And something's weird here. Why wouldn't you want to invest in Walker Kessler, Utah? Something's not right there. This is very strange. Very, very strange. Something's not right there. I don't know what it is exactly. That's the thing. Because to me, I mean, they have been hesitant to invest in Walker this whole time. It's like, well, Walker Kessler's great. Yeah, we love him. You guys are interested in him. Yeah. Why are we signing him long term? Oh, don't worry about that. He's great, isn't he? Yeah, maybe you want to trade for him. Maybe you want him. Yeah, you want Walker Kessler? We'll trade you. Yeah, we'll trade you him. Yeah, something weird there, man. Red flag. Yeah. We'll find out down the road, I'm sure. Trevor J saying Ingram stats on every team. How much points is he dropping on them? Very impressive. Yeah, they came out with the graphic yesterday. I mean, it's been out for a while, but they do this for different players. They show the players' career high against each team in the NBA. And Brandon's graphic came out and it has been posted, and he's got a lot of 40-point career highs against a lot of teams. I think the lowest point total he scored against the team was 28, and that was like the Knicks or something like that. And like the highest is like 48. And there's a lot of teams that he scored at least 40 points against, including the Raptors. He dropped like a 44-point game on us once. So yeah, Ingram's got some pretty good career highs against all 30 teams. And he has stats against all 30 teams because he's played against the Pelicans. He's played against the Lakers. Yeah, and that it's impressive. And when you see that he's dropped 44 on this team. Wow, he's dropped 38 on this team. Wow, he drops 36 on this team. You see that he is a prolific scorer, and we're going to see something from him. That's right. Trevor's saying this. I left the stream early yesterday. Thank you guys for giving me some props. Yeah. I forget who it was talking with me. I think it was Seymour maybe. And we were saying like, Trevor J is a renowned hairstylist. In some ways, we're saying that he's one of the top in the world. He's like, if there's a power ranking of celebrity hairstylists, maybe Trevor J's on there, man. And we're talking about non-disclosure agreements that he has with his famous celebrity clients that we cannot know who he's doing the did for the hair. Did the hair. He did that hair. He did that. And he won't tell us who. He won't tell us who. And that's a professional. That's the top of his field kind of guy. That is like, man, I'll bet you it's somebody crazy. I'll bet you Trevor J does hair for somebody that would just blow our minds. That was like, wow, he does that. It may even be one of the birthday people today. You do the hair for Serena Williams. That's crazy. Happy birthday, Serena Williams, part owner of the Toronto Tempo. It is her birthday today. She is what is that? That's let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40. She's 44 today. Happy 44th birthday, Serena Williams. Did you guys realize she was that old? That she's 44 years old, Serena? Isn't that crazy? I didn't realize she was that old. 44 years old today. It's Toronto Tempo's Serena Williams, a great tennis legend, she's on my birthday list now because she's the owner for the Tempo. And somebody you gotta celebrate right there. Yeah. Trevor J, salute to you. Talented man in his field. Very talented. Kaz is here. Good morning to Trucker Kaz, our WNBA fantasy champion. Good morning, Lex and Rapid Free Crew. Salute to you, Trucker Kaz. May you drive safe on your route this morning. And thank you for what you do. A great family man and a big-time Raptors fan. We love you, Kaz. Hope you have a great weekend coming up, lined up for you. Raptor Freak James, let's see what's up, James. We got some questions for me. Let's see what's going on here. Seen on Real GM, Celtics have a starting lineup of Pritchard, Brown, Derek White, Boucher, and Queta. Wow, that's the projected starting lineup for the Celtics this year. Well, I guess they have kind of cleaned house. There's like some of these guys are gone now, and they're moving them up. I mean, Tatum's out, so Pritchard's probably going to start. That makes sense. Peyton has shown some real jumps in his career in the last couple of years as a dependable backup point guard. That this year they're going to put him in the front. And Drew Holiday's gone, and that's going to be a big absence for them. Porzingis, Horford, these guys are all gone. The Celtics are in a really weird transition year where they're going to be bad this year, guys. That starting lineup right there, James, does not sound that good to me. Keita was very interesting at the Eurobasket for Portugal. He did some interesting things there. Well, you know all about Chris Boucher. Do you really feel like Chris Boucher is a good starter? I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, and the other guys, well, they've been there before, Brown and White. They're going to be there as the steady guys from last year. But this is a very weird starting lineup. In some ways, I would argue this is too small a team to compete in the NBA correctly. Chris is a great power forward to a degree, but he's not a strong power forward in some of the ways that the Celtics might need. And with Keita next to him, that's an undersized 4 and a 5. Because Keita is not a full true center either. And, they might have trouble with this. They may be very quick up and down the court, but they're not going to be very good against big teams that can dominate them. How many games do they win, James? That starting lineup. And with their bench, who's going to be their bench guys? It's like all the bench guys. Some of the bench guys got to be in the starting lineup. So who the hell's going to be on the bench for them this year? I don't even know who's on the Celtics anymore. In some ways, we'll just see when we get to play them. But yeah, I would say that they're going to be a below 500 team this year, and that may be on purpose, guys. I think the Celtics are intentionally tanking this year. And the Celtics fans may be like, no, we don't want to win this year. Jason's not playing. We want to lose because we want to get a high draft pick. So a lot of the talk around Celtics Nation is not going to be about winning. They're going to be wanting to lose. A lot of Boston fans are already going to be like, yeah, why are we winning right now? We're not going to win the championship with our team the way it is without Jason. Why are we even trying? We need to not try and win. So what, 30 wins, 30 to 40 wins, somewhere in there? I'd say maybe they get what we got last year, 30 wins. Maybe they're the Raptors this year, the Celtics, and they get 30 wins this year. That's right. Trevor J saying Devin Booker is unhappy with the current lineup in Phoenix. I would think he would be. Dylan Brooks showing up for Media Day and wearing that purple and orange Phoenix jersey. Looking pretty good in it, Dylan. Looking pretty good. Of course, Dylan's a badass. We love our villain Dylan up here in Canada. And you know what? I'm be excited to see you in Phoenix. I know your team's not going to be that good. I know that you are just a badass, and I just enjoy watching you play. I have some affinity for the Phoenix Suns. franchise back in the day with Tom Chambers, Kevin Johnson, Charles Barkley, Jeff Hornacek, Dan Marley, Mark West. You know, they had some really fun teams in the late 80s, early 90s that I got behind. And I was a fan of the Suns. The Suns were kind of like my second favorite Western team after the Spurs. So, and somebody seeing Dylan in a Suns jersey is fun to me. It's fresh. It's kind of cool looking. But you see the picture of the three most prominent Phoenix Suns in a picture. What's the problem here? You see Devin Booker, Jalen Green, and Dylan Brooks standing next to each other in Phoenix Suns jerseys. What's the problem here? Why does Devin Booker look like he smelled a turd in his face? Yeah, somebody took some pictures of all the big threes that the Suns have had over the last few years, whether it was Bradley and Kevin with Devin, or even before that, like Ayton and whoever with Devin. And Devin's face is changed each picture. He gets more and more sad in each one. And this one with Dylan and Jalen, he just looks pissed off. He just looks pissed off. Seriously. And you know why? It's because the top three players of the Suns who are in that picture, Dylan, Jalen, and Devin, all play the same position. And this was what we called out immediately after all the moves the Phoenix did this summer. It was like, wait, are they going to just have all shooting guards on their team this year? Because it looks like they all just got a bunch of twos. It's just twos. The twos are all the talent. So, yeah, don't make no sense, the roster build for the Phoenix Suns. It's going to be a messy year there. And, yeah, they're going to be really bad once again this year. And Devin Booker knows that. And he knows that he's wasting his career in some ways, even though he's been a Sun his whole entire career. And that's dutiful, you know, Dame Lillard, hello. But it's not going in the right direction, Matasheba. The team is not going in the right direction. It's more lawsuits than wins going on with that franchise. So it's like, yeah, why wouldn't Devin Booker feel like things are just running the ground? This is the kind of stuff that made Siakam get jaded and depressed. Is the Raptors had trouble struggling to get back after the championship because of Tampa and all kinds of stuff. Devin Booker's in that same place that Siakam was like a year or so ago when he was still a Raptor. Just jaded and kind of worn out on what's going on with that particular team. Because seriously, after having so many coaches in a row, after having so many different key players next to him come and go, yeah, Devin Booker's been the one standing thing in Phoenix. And it's got to be frustrating because he can see that the progress isn't happening. In fact, it's more regression than progress is what's happening in Phoenix. That's right. James is saying, happy for Boucher. Hang on, it jumped ahead. Happy for Boucher if he gets to start. He averaged 10 points and 5 rebounds last year. Definitely expecting a jump. Decent late pickup in fantasy. Yeah, I have a lot to talk about that with that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't totally believe this is true that Boucher is going to start for Boston. That projected lineup does not seem right to me. I mean, it'd be great for him. I'd love for him to start this year. If he gets to start, I'm not going to be mad, but I don't know if this is exactly right that he is going to start, guys. I don't know if this is exactly right. Yeah, he hopefully he'll get more minutes in a jump. It could very well be that Chris's stats are more aligned with the Tampa year when he was used way more. He was relied on a lot in Tampa. And his stats rose for the Raptors when we played a full 82-game road season. And, yeah, he jumped up. And he should jump up for the Celtics, too. We'll just have to see how much he plays. It's very much looking like he's going to be a main person in the rotation, but maybe not a starter. Maybe not a starter. Decent late pickup in fantasy. He's a fantastic pickup in fantasy. This is the thing, James. We're going to have 16 teams in our fantasy league. We have one spot left. If somebody wants that spot, tell me in the chat right now that I would like to join the Raptor Freak NBA Fantasy League for this year in the NBA, because I'll put you in. You'll be the last team of 16. There'll be 4 divisions of 4 teams and a playoffs and all that stuff. Now, because we have 16 teams and we have full rosters, I have full 17-person rosters in our league. You can do the math. You do 16 times 17, and that's how many players we're going to have to draft. So it's not just starters. It's not just superstars. It's not even just rotation players. You're going to have to dig deep when you draft, and you're going to be scooping players from the bottom of the ice cream barrel to get your team fully fleshed out, because that's how much the rosters are and in this league. So be ready for that, James. Chris Boucher is a great pickup for sure. And I don't know how late he'll be. He may be a mid-draft pick, not at the end of the draft. He could be a mid-draft pick. somewhere in there. That's right. Trevor's saying DeLon Wright has agreed with training camp deal with the Indiana Pacers. That is a good idea. So this is interesting. Indiana was looking at Delano in the last 2 weeks, and they said, nah, we'll pass on Banton. But they talked to the older DeLon Wright, another Raptors draft pick, and said, you know what, DeLon, we'll take you. But you know what? This is what you just said, though, Trevor. You notice he said training camp deal. That's not a full-fledged roster on the roster deal. That is like, I'm adding you to the end of our training camp roster to try and make the team. Can you make it, DeLon Wright? Now, I know the Pacers are looking for a replacement in some ways for Halliburton at point guard. DeLon Wright might be a good choice. So we'll see if DeLon Wright can win a spot through training camp for Rick Carlisle in the Pacers. So, but good job, DeLon, and good luck to you in that endeavor. Seriously, I'd like to see you get in there. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Friday. Good morning to you, MJ. Always good to see the eye candy, MJ. Talking, and hope you and Fiercey Jr. are going to have a great weekend coming up. TGIF. How about that, guys? How about that? Roger Raymond, thank you for supporting this channel. Good day to all the Raptor freaks. Good morning to you, Roger. I hope you're having a fantastic Friday morning. Seymour's here. Good to see Seymour checking in from the Mountain Standard Time out there in the middle of Alberta. Wherever Kessler lands will be very impactful. Hopefully not Indiana or Boston. I see a similar version of Rick Smits. Rick Smits. There you go. Let's go old school with Seymour Pape. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give you a dunk for bringing up the Flying Dutchman, Rick Smits, bringing him up. That's a classic, very classic Indiana Pacer. A lot of Pacers fans love Rick Smits. Of course, he was the center of the Pacers when they went to the finals the first time with Mark Jackson and Reggie Miller, Travis Best, and all them. But yeah, I agree with you, Seymour. I think Kessler is a good player, and he could have an impact for a team that does need some size. And there's a lot of different teams around the league that could fit. You named a couple of them there. You could also see him. We were talking about the Miami Heat with Bam Adebayo not really wanting to play center. Walker Kessler showed up on that team down there. There's a lot of different teams. In some ways, I got to say, I wouldn't mind him on the Raptors. He's a good, solid center. If we have room for him, we would want him here. If he came to Toronto, I wouldn't be upset. Walker Kessler. I'm saying that he has a red flag for some reason. I'm not sure why the Jazz aren't trying to go in on him and keep him around. But, there is a red flag there. If Bobby Webster investigated and he's understood it and he was still wanting to pull the trigger, I support that. But yeah, to me, I would love that Walker Kessler on the Raptors. I don't understand what's going on here. It's really weird, man. It's really, really weird. Roger Raymond saying this, what a real honor for our GROAT to be an analyst while playing. Wow. A vote of confidence by the rest of the league. Yeah, it's like Spoelstra said, Kyle's just a throwback. He's an old school guy, and he looks at the game like a winner. And we know this. In some ways, we know how Kyle plays. Kyle's a very unique player in some ways because he does dirty job stuff that most players don't want to do. And that's his bread and butter to get the wins, whether it's taking a charge or just playing very cerebrally and smart about the rules of the game too. There's a lot of stuff that Lowry understands that him and Nick Nurse used to do for us that just really kind of it's just brilliant. It's brilliant shit. It's maybe it's the way you play an inbounds play and you get a steal. It's just really understanding basketball on a higher level. And, some of the stuff that Kyle used to do was so fantastic for us. He's always going to be a legend for us. He'll retire Raptor and he'll get his jersey retired. And he is the greatest Raptor of all time in my book. It's on different days. It'll be DeMar and it may be Kyle, but those guys are 1A and 1B. And it says a lot about who he is. I didn't think he was going to go the media route. That really did kind of take me by surprise. I thought maybe Kyle would want to just go golf after his career because he loves golfing so much. He's he could go and become an amateur golfer, a celebrity amateur golfer. He could be just like Bill Murray and just do celebrity golf tournaments around the country for fun. Just that, if you didn't want to do anything with the NBA. I could have seen him also possibly going into coaching at the level where his kid is, around the level where Carter is or stuff like that. And maybe that level, but not the NBA level. I could see him doing a lower level of coaching, like kids or high school. But, I going into broadcasting, that's something that I did not totally see for Kyle Lowry. And I'm glad he's going to do it, man. I'm glad he's going to do it. Seymour saying, my company got free tickets to the Flames game coming on Monday. I said respectfully no. And they all looked shocked. I'm from Toronto. Being in a building with Flames fans. No. Sorry, not sorry. Hilarious. So the hockey is starting up that soon. Wow. Yeah, I guess it is like that. It is the end of September, and the NHL kind of starts a little bit before the NBA. So wow. Okay, you said no, and they all looked at you like you're crazy. It's like, this is a free NHL Calgary Flames ticket. No, sorry. Nah, not into it. You know, there's a little part on Survivor this week. I don't know, spoiler alert. If you watch Survivor, which premiered its 49th season on Wednesday, there's a player who's from Toronto who's on Survivor named Jeremiah. And there's a guy who's from Saskatoon who's on it also. And he's a big burly prison guard from Saskatchewan. And at one point, they realized they're both Canadians. And the guy from Saskatchewan said to the guy, "You're from Toronto? Are you a Leafs fan?" And the guy goes, "Yeah, I'm a Leafs fan." And he's like, "Oh." But the guy from Saskatchewan didn't really answer him. He didn't really say, "Oh, I'm a Leafs fan too." No, he didn't say that. He was like, "Oh, okay." So I'm like, you know what? Listen, they can try and portray it on Survivor that like, oh, they bonded on that. But I'm going to tell you right now, Jake Latimer's not a Maple Leafs fan. That man's more likely an Oilers fan or a Flames fan, being from out there, out west in Saskatchewan. So maybe he's a Leafs fan. I don't know. I don't think those guys are going to bond on that. Let's just put it that way. I don't think they're going to bond on their allegiances. Now, Jeremiah, why did you go foot first with the Leafs, bro? You should have been like, "I'm a Raptors fan." You know, that would have been better, bro. And the dude's got a crazy laugh. Let's just put it that way. That Jeremiah guy on Survivor's got a crazy ass laugh. It's great. It's great. I'm not dissing the guy. I think he's hilarious. And I think that he'll be very interesting to watch on Survivor this year. The guy who's living in Windsor, but he's from Toronto originally. And then the prison guard from Saskatchewan, he's like, "You're a Leafs fan? Oh, you're a Leafs fan?" And then he didn't say jack shit. And the editor didn't show his reaction. I'm not thinking they're both Leafs fans. But the Toronto Maple Leafs got their little moment on Survivor this week. Shaq Lindsay said, "What's going on with Delano? We could use another point guard with his length." I don't know. I mean, it is a different look than our point guards on our team right now. We do have, you know, our point guard depth is Emmanuel Quickley, Elijah Martin, and Chucky Hepburn. That's really our point guard depth right there. I mean, we can play Scotty at point at any time, and it may very well be likely that Elijah and Chucky are doing more G League stuff this year, and the backup point guards are actually going to be Scotty and RJ. That's going to be more of the look for the team. It'll be Emmanuel starting point guard, but at some point, Emmanuel go to the bench, Scotty stays in the game, and he just takes over point at that point. I think that we'll see that. Now, Elijah and Chucky will get their chances to come up and be on the big squad and get to play that backup role as backup point guards. But yeah, that's the depth chart I'm seeing right now is, Shed. I forget Shed. Of course, Shed's going to be there too. Jamal Shed's the backup point guard. And he'll be in the mix too. But that depth chart is Emmanuel, Jamal, Elijah, and then Chucky, the four point guards in my mind for this year. Delano Banton would be very different than all four of those guys. You're right. But once again, we're going to say this. Been there, done that. He's been here already, done that. Has he gotten better in his NBA career since he left Toronto and went to Boston and Portland? I don't know. Maybe some of the issues that Delano had on our team when he was on the Raptors would still persist in the second stint coming back. And the Raptors are like, "Nah, we can't do this." Last time you were here, Delano, come on in. It's me, Bobby. I want to talk to you. Last time you were here, Delano, remember what happened in Rexdale? Yeah, we can't do this again. I'm sorry. We cannot have anything like what happened while you were on the Raptors before. I'm just speculating. I don't know what happened. But I'm just saying there are pitfalls for a hometown hero in his hometown when he plays there. And he has a lot of old hanger-ons and a lot of old friends from back in the hood. They're coming and calling and say, "Hey, man, come on, do this, get involved in this," and stuff like that. A lot of distractions. That's why RJ's acting like he don't live in Toronto. That's the truth. RJ's acting like he still lives in New York, being here in Toronto right now because he ain't having all this distraction. So you bring Delano back. I don't know if the problems that Delano had are different if he comes back for a second stint. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I like the idea of what you're saying, Shaq Lindsay, that the height would be a different look. But then again, can we do that with Scott instead? We could get that big guard, that big feeling of a big point guard with Scotty Barnes playing the point guard at times. Nako's saying if Utah's trading Kessler, why keep Lowry? They're trying to move both of them. They're not trying to keep anybody there, Nako. I don't understand what's going on there. Since Danny Ainge showed up there, he's like, Clarence, this is a clearance warehouse. We're on the other side of the border here in Buffalo, and we're trying to sell shoes to Canadians. Come on over, please. Don't worry about Trump. Come and buy our shoes. Please come across the border. It's like Danny Ainge has a clearance on white boys in Utah right now. We have a clearance sale on white boys out here. Laurie Markkinen, Walker Kessler, you guys want any white boys on your team? Come on down and to come to Danny Ainge's Utah Jazz big man emporium, just on the other side of I-76 or whatever. You know, what is this? What is this, Danny Ainge? You already went on a fire sale with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert a couple of years ago. It's like, no, this isn't good enough. This isn't good enough. Where's my son? Come and work with me, son. Son, this isn't good enough. We have to get rid of these guys and start over again. Crumple up the paper, throw it out. Walker Kessler, no. Laurie Markkinen, no. Start over. I don't understand this. What are you building in Utah? What are you doing there? Are you just spinning your wheels? You're just messing around? Is this some sort of tax haven for some shady-ass organized crime or something like that? What's going on there, man? What's going on in Utah? What's your direction? What are you trying to do there? Who's your franchise player? Like, seriously, what's going on there, man? Seriously. All right, let's keep going. Shaq Lindsay said, I'm starting to wonder if it's his attitude why he doesn't get picked up. I think he probably rubbed a lot of shoulders when he was in Toronto. You know, I guess he got gassed because he was drafted with Scotty and felt he should have been on the spotlight. You know, I do think that there was some toxicness in that draft class with Scotty, Champagny, and Delano. And I think Scotty loves his rookie year with his rookies. In some ways, he'll always have that experience with Jay Pangy and Delano Banton and, David Johnson. And, there's something that was weird there. And maybe some of the immaturity of Justin Champagny reveals some of it. You know, maybe this sunning thing, even though Justin was doing it more publicly, maybe Delano was doing goofy shit like that behind the scenes. Like just kind of non-team building kind of behavior where you're kind of like, yeah, but you know what? And he says something like witty, but it's kind of insulting to a teammate or something like that. I don't know. We have no idea. The locker room is a sanctuary. And in some ways, we don't know how these guys rub shoulders privately in some ways, as far as whether they get along totally. And people leaving the team, like Dennis Schroeder, Delano Banton, different people like that, there may be underlying reasons from internally the reason why they weren't around anymore. And I would say this also, you know that it is very important that these people get along with Scotty. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. That's that right there. Isaac's saying going to Montreal to find Chris Boucher. Wish me luck. Isaac's going to Montreal. Safe travels, my guy. Going over to the beautiful, beautiful, great city of Montreal. Montreal is a fantastic, great city in the whole entire world. It's a world-class, top-notch city in the whole entire world. Isaac, I hope you enjoy your time in Montreal. I don't think Boucher's there. I think he's in Boston already. So I don't know if you're going to find Chris. I think the man's stateside, and he's already in Beantown, hanging around where they threw tea in the water. That's where he is right now. I don't think he's in Montreal. I don't think you'll find him. Shaq Lindsay said, would love Kessler on this team. But problem is, he wants to start. Well, that's the thing. The timing may not be right. We got a Utah center already from Utah named Yak. And in some ways, Kessler's not Jakob. So we need Jakob. The era of Yak is till 2030 at least, if not traded at some point. Don't see it. I don't want it. I wouldn't say this is an upgrade if we got Kessler over Jakob. Some people would say, what are you talking about? Walker Kessler is way better than Jakob Pearl. Nope, not to me. Not to me. Not to me. You might as well just keep Yak and keep building with what we've already been building. There's a lot of time spent with Emmanuel Quickley and the other guys on the team learning each other's stuff. And Jakob Poeltl is way more further along. And I'd rather have that than get the younger Kessler. In some ways, once again, there's a red flag with Kessler. Why the hell is Utah not want to keep him? Something's weird there. Something is weird there. I don't get it. Neil's here. Good morning, Neil. Putting on blast the Vince Carter Raptor logo. And thank you, Neil, for being a supporter of this channel. I appreciate you. Seymour saying, I have a question. Since Drake hates Compton and DeMar, does he hate Serena Williams too? Tempo owner. She's from Compton. Yeah, and apparently Drake's a Tempo owner himself. Like Drake is a part owner of the Toronto Tempo also, along with Kyle Lowry, our subject today. Kyle Lowry is a part owner of the Toronto Tempo too, guys. Did you guys know that? So whoa. Let's see. Seymour just brought the light. Drake, you got a problem with Compton? Comp 10. Serena Williams. Drake. Now, I'm going to say this. Drake, I know you're big and bad. You're like the Michael Jackson of your era with selling records. But do you butt heads with a GOAT in tennis like Serena Williams? Who has the clout here? Who has the clout? I bet you they sit in a Toronto Tempo boardroom with Teresa Resch and Monica Wright Rogers. And who is wearing the britches when they sit down at that table? It may have to do with who has the biggest share of the team. It may have to do with who has the most accomplishment and respect in the room. And I will tell you right now, Serena Williams is the power player in that instant, in that room on her birthday today. Happy birthday, Serena. 44. That's right, 44 today. I'll bet you she sits down at that boardroom table with Teresa and Monica and Drake and Kyle Lowry, and she's in charge. I'll bet you she's in charge. Oh, yeah, girl boss. Drake shuts up. Drake like, He's like not talking. He's not trying to do nothing. Serena's in charge. Serena's in charge. So Drake, don't be bringing none of that in there. I'm telling you right now. Imagine if Drake came up to Serena in that meeting and said, Serena, how do you feel about Kendrick Lamar? I love Kendrick. He's my friend. I performed with him at the Super Bowl. Did you not see, Aubrey? How can you be with him when he's called me a pedophile? Because Drake, maybe you are. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Damn! Oh, allegations. You want to go the other direction. And I'm telling you, Drake, bringing up this feud a year later just to sell some more records don't help your profile with the allegations. Let's just put it that way. You don't need to remind everybody what Kendrick said about you, bro. You want that to go away. You don't need to bring this up again. What, you gonna go hit the hornet's nest ahead and they go get buzzing all around? Pedophile. You didn't have to do that. You leave that hornet's nest alone. You don't hit it again with a stick every year. You put those Epstein kind of allegations on yourself. On your own fault. Because you brought it up, motherfucker. You're stupid, man. Don't bring this up. Let it go. Get past this. You don't need this. Water on the bridge. Get it past. Go further away from it. That's right. See, we're saying Kessler is a cool dude. Went to Michigan and Utah, wants him to be a Mormon and follow tradition. Utah shuts down at 9 p.m. Most cities bump till 3 a.m. Just saying. So you think it's Kessler's like not happy. And they're reading that. They're like, Kessler, you want to sign a long-term deal with us? Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to sign an extension. If you guys try and give me an extension, I don't want to be here. I want to live. And Utah sucks. I'm telling you, it sucks. But you look like a Mormon. You be the king Mormon of here. I don't care. I want to go somewhere that is open after 9. Could that would be what it is? I don't know. This is all just goofy reenactments. A lot of stuff you see on the Raptor Freak stream is just made up, fun improvisation by this man right here, whether it was the Tempo boardroom meeting I just did or Walker Kessler's issues with Utah. Don't take them to heart. This is all dramatic interpretation. This might as well be reenactments on Unsolved Mysteries or Rescue 911. That's all this is, okay? James is saying people are sleeping on Ingram because of his injury history. Yeah. Remember, Raptors fans, that Kawhi Leonard and Dr. McKechnie, that's the combination right there. Woo! Everybody wondering about Kawhi Leonard. Oh, the best year he had in his career was in Toronto. Why? Because of the excellent doctor, VP, president of medical stuff for the Raptors, Dr. Alex McKechnie. Dr. McKechnie. Yes, he's going to come in. He's going to get Brandon's ankle exactly right the whole season. He's going to baby him. He's going to keep up with him. He's going to do all the sports science in the world. Brandon Ingram will get load managed to an extent. There's going to be enough bad games spread out over the whole season this year that on certain nights, Brandon is not needed. Brandon will sit on the bench and not play. I'm telling you right now, this is going to happen. There will be load management for BI. And in those games, Grady and Jacoby will get the ball more. And we're going to see them get their chances against teams like the Hornets and the Wizards and the Jazz, stuff like that. I could see that happening right there. That's right. Kaz saying, in my opinion, Anthony Simons will be starting for the Celtics. That's exactly right. And I'm giving a dunk to Kaz. We forgot about Simons. It seems like they don't want him there. They're already trying to put him in trades to trade him on to the next place. Maybe Anthony Simons has been too Blazer-fied in some ways, if you know what I mean. Maybe Portland can mess people up, Delano Banton and Anthony Simons. And, well, maybe they're like, yeah, you're great. You're a good player. But, wow, we didn't realize you were like this until you showed up here. And we're like, we're glad you're here, Anthony. Yeah. Oh, we're trying to trade him behind his back? Oh, yeah, we're glad you're here, Anthony. Yeah, I bet you're right. Anthony Simons should be starting, and Kaz just got a dunk. I think he's exactly right. Seymour saying Boston has been molding Pritchard for this very moment. He will run the point and develop for the return of Tatum. Fuck Boston. I just hope they don't steal Kessler. I mean, in some ways, it's kind of a good look for him to be on Boston, but I don't know. We'll have to see. In some ways, I'm not worried about the Celtics this year. In some ways, I'm really not, guys. I can already tell they're not going to be an issue for us. The Knicks, the Cavs, there's a couple other teams that are more dangerous and problematic. And the Celtics this year are not going to be an issue. I'm telling you right now, guys. We're going to kick the Celtics' ass all over the court this year. We may even sweep this Boston this year. The Raptors may sweep Boston this year, guys. Be ready for that. We swept Philadelphia last year. Well, let's go sweep Boston and get some payback against them for getting swept by them for a couple years now. That's the thing. We've been getting swept by them in a few of the years recently. And I don't like that. Man, I'm starting to heat up. He's heating up. Shaq Lindsay saying Trey's beef with Patrick Beverley was kind of telling on the type of leader he is and why Atlanta is probably moving on. Yeah, Trey Young, bro, Patrick Beverley's already slumming and looking bad in his life in different ways. Come on now. You don't need to go to his level. You're an all-star, albeit a fill-in all-star, but you are still an all-star, and you have a certain level of pedigree in this league that Patrick Beverley, his little yappy puppy dog self, never got to. And in some ways, you put yourself down just interacting with this. And I think this is a very astute comment by Shaq Lindsay, saying that maybe this is telling about why Trae Young is not an effective leader because he's petty enough to get involved in a stupid flame war with Patrick Beverley. Why waste your time? Why publicly do this? In some ways, you make yourself look bad by not being professional, Trae Young. You're letting Patrick Beverley drag you down. You're letting him drag you down. That's right. That stuff. Isn't that kind of stuff throwing your team under the bus? That's right. Kaz is saying, Lex, is it possible to not put teams in divisions for NBA fantasy? I only say this because in the WNBA fantasy, the playoff brackets seemed unfair to some people due to the divisions, if not all good. I understand what you're saying. It was because of the Kareem Thomas got the second seed with a different record and the way that it went because he was in the Western Conference and the Eastern. I get what you're saying. Well, that was only because ESPN had really bad formatting for that. This Yahoo League is different. The Yahoo format is different. It reseeds by your record, and it will not take into account the division leaders. I'm pretty sure I have it set to that. If I don't, I will fix it. I should be able to control that. And I couldn't do anything about that for the WNBA fantasy, and that's why that happened. But in some ways, I didn't think it was a big deal. Kareem was the best team in the Western Conference. He deserved to have the second seed. But in some ways, that's the ESPN format. Yahoo's different. Yahoo has a lot more options and a lot more controllability. So this should be definitely not in this league this year. So what you're saying, yeah, I get what you're saying, and I agree with you. In some ways, I thought it was a little weird, but it is what it is. It's just that's how WNBA had it set up. So, yeah, don't worry about it. We will have divisions. And the reason why I do the divisions is because I actually make the schedule myself. And I put you against your divisions more. And I'm physically taking where you guys are and making the divisions that way. If you guys are out towards Ottawa, you're east. If you guys are in the States or in downtown Toronto, you're south. If you're up north of the city like me, you're the north. And if you're out west towards Mississauga and out to BC, you'll get in the Western Division. So they're geographically grouped. And I believe you're in the Eastern Division because you're over east of Toronto. So you'll be in the Jurassic Park East division. So yeah, and what I'll do is I'll have you play the people in your division twice, and then everybody else once. So that's kind of how I do it, and it's by geography. It's by geography. Let's see. Kaz saying, like, if we could all just be in the same division, I think it would be more fair come playoff time for the brackets. Yeah, like I said, I understand what your problem with it was, and I'm going to tell you right now, it was an ESPN thing, and Yahoo, it won't be an issue. I'll get it right. I'll get it for you right. Yeah, this year I'm going to do the Yahoo NBA fantasy way better than last year. Last year was a bust. I did horrible setting up the league last year. And in some ways, it's because I was trying to listen to what everybody wanted too much. And in some ways, I changed the rules and I messed up what I really wanted the league to be. So we're going to get it right, whether it's the scoring system, whether it is the position eligibility, whether it's the divisions. We're going to get it right. And you guys are going to have a fun time this year. That's right. Let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying no accountability means he's probably not a good leader. Also, Pat did say no one wants to play with him. I mean, he's a losing player. I'm serious. Like, if he's your franchise player, but the crazy ironic thing is that trade in the draft day for him for Luka, they're both losing players, if you ask me. Luka Doncic, Lakers, you guys aren't going to get anywhere with him either. So it's like Trae Young, Luka Doncic, draft day deal, Dallas and Atlanta. Some people are saying, oh, Atlanta, you're idiots. You got rid of Luka. I say both those teams, both those players are fool's gold. And neither one of them going to win championships because they get in their own way because they're not good defensive players. And that's part of it right there. That's part of it right there. Let's see. Kaz is saying, Lex, no Survivor spoilers, please. I haven't watched yet. No, I won't tell you got voted off, but I'll maybe make some things that happened on the show in the first episode this week. You know, in some ways I will talk about it a little bit just because I get excited about it. And I've got my Survivor team. I've got the leader, the guy on my team that I'm really excited about is the Nate guy from Black Panther. He's a producer of Black Panther, and he's on Survivor right now. And I've got him on my fantasy Survivor team. I've got him, and I've got an MC. She looks like a major strong athlete, like really strong woman. And I got that kid Rizzo too. Which was my last pick. And I'm like not totally into Rizzo. He's a mess. The kid is crying already. He's like not believing in himself, but then he's going forward and winning anyway. It's a really weird kid, Rizzo, the Riz God. But I love his backstory with his parents being custodians. And, you know, the stories on Survivor are really good for society. They need to see examples of good, hardworking immigrant families right now in the United States to change the narrative of MAGA and their bullshit. So, you know, putting a kid who's from parents that are from Albania that is just trying to bust his ass and they're just trying to make it. And you hear that his parents are both school custodians in the United States, just trying to make American dream for their son. That is powerful stuff. And thank you, CBS, Global, and Jeff Probst and Survivor for giving us examples of humanity on the show Survivor. This country in the United States and the whole entire world needs more humanity than ever right now. Seriously. Let's go. Trevor J. saying, I have to tell you guys about this. This lady is about 400 pounds. In a fight with another woman, she said, you're lucky because I'm out of breath. What is this story, Trevor? What is this? I was like thinking, all right, is Trevor going to finally disclose a non-disclosure agreement here? Because he's like, all right, I got to tell you guys this. Because I'm talking about Trevor J and his platform work and like, you know, his celebrity clients, and he won't tell us who they are, but he's like, I had to tell you guys this lady's 400 pounds. Oh, who is it? Who's he cutting hair for? Who is it? And then he says, in a fight with another woman, she said, you're lucky because I'm out of breath. That's hilarious. Like, this is just, what is this, stand-up comedy? This is crazy, Trevor. This is so weird and out of the blue that you would just tell me this with no context. I'm not seeing the footage, but in some ways I'm like, Trevor, I can see it in my head. That's so crazy, man. He's like, you're lucky I'm out of breath. Okay. Shaq Lindsay saying that's the problem with some of these superstars in this league. They think they are bigger than the team. Yes. That's why you want to build around a guy like Scotty, who's so selfless that in some ways looks at himself as a glue guy first. But if he's in charge, then boom, that's the great thing, because he sets the tone for everybody and how they look at the team. It's like, look, you can't have a bigger ego than Scott. You got to come in and be the same as him. And his ego's small for a superstar and a leader on our team. Seriously. Scotty is a very, very God-fearing young man who has a humbleness to him, but also a very wide belief in his own ability to be able to be a badass too. And that's a really tough thing to balance, his ego with ability and wanting to go get it and not being a complete asshole and being like, I'm so great, my shit don't stink, and y'all should be bowing to me. No, Scott's not like that. Scott's not like that. And that's why I love him as our franchise player and in the spot that he's in. Because this is a huge problem in other places around the league. Oh, yeah, Shaq Lindsay, you're exactly right. That's exactly right there. Seymour's laughing and crying, probably because of my goofy improvisations. Kareem saying, I would love Delano Batten back in Toronto. I know if it's crowded with young talent, but a backup point guard who's a veteran and plays a joker role. He's like 6'7" with point guard handles. We need an ace. Delano just wanted to keep it real and not leave the hood. Bring him back and move him to Saga or Boucher's old condo. Saga's no good. That's too close to Rexdale. You better send that man over to Morningside. Send him all the way over to the east side of Toronto and get him away from the west side. That's where the problems are, up there on that 45 bus route. No. Maybe he shouldn't be any of there. I'm just saying. I know you want him for sentimentality. You said we have too many young players. Well, it's someplace. Delano's not exactly a young player anymore. He would be going in his 5th year right now, right? Just like Scott. He'd be going in his 5th year, and in some ways, that's not a young player anymore. It's a mid-career vet in some ways. So in some ways, I don't know. I say once again, been there, done that. Don't need to revisit that unless it's something that makes total sense. Like Kyle Lowry signed for one day to get his jersey retired and being a Raptor when he retires. You know, I don't see it. I don't see it with Delano. I don't see it, and I think that part of it is that Scotty and Delano aren't as it seems in some ways. I think that that's part of it right there. That's right. Fiercely saying not to sully Champagne and Delano, but I believe SB4 was more locked in and was aiming for greatness as an NBA player, not taking everything for granted and keep training. I barely saw the others grind. You know, this very well be the nail hitting on the head that Fiercey's saying here is that Scotty had a certain level of work and maybe those guys weren't being serious enough. And that could be very true because you can see where Delano's gotten with his career. His wheels are spinning. That maybe from the inside, Masai and Bobby saw that, you know, these guys may hold Scotty back in his getting better because they're goofing too much. Freddie did say this in the rookies' years that they were immature. Fred VanVleet publicly said there's young players on our team that are immature right now. They're acting immature in the locker room. And he very well probably meant Justin and Delano. And well, maybe Bobby and Masai saw something that was developing with their little clique as the rookies that they didn't like rubbing off on young Scott Wayne because they wanted him to grow into what he's supposed to be and what he's doing right now. And maybe Delano and Justin were just not the right people to train beside, you know, maybe the DeRozan code wasn't as strong in those two guys. Let's just put it that way. You know, I think that Fiercey's probably right on this. And that the Raptors recognize this and they're like, you know what, we like Delano, we like Justin, but you know what, they're not the best influence on Scotty. Let's just say that. Kareem saying Serena doesn't like Drake because he smashed her and didn't wife her. Serena was dancing to not like us because he gave her the cold shoulder. So that's that side of the story right there. That's that side of the story. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be awkward in this ownership group, obviously. So Drake got with Serena? Really? Wow. Good for him, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he couldn't keep her because he wasn't like that for her. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Drake, that's great. Yeah, Drake, she's calling back. Hey, Serena, you want to go out on Saturday? Drake, you know, it was really nice to meet you, but I think I'm going to pass. I'm sorry. What do you mean? Come on now. You're going to make me write a whole album about this heartbreak. Come on now. Come on. You got to go out with me again. I don't know. We don't know the who dissed who or what happened what. It's none of our business in some ways, although Drake wants to put all his business out publicly. So maybe he would tell us all about it if we got a chance. I don't know. I'm not with Drake at this point. You can tell. In some ways, Drake, man, you've disappointed me. You do not go against the GROAT. Kyle Lowry's best friend, DeMar DeRozan. You do not go against DeMar DeRozan. Come on, man. You can't do this. And disrespecting his sacrifice to help us get the NBA 2019 Larry O'Brien. Drake, you're a jackass for not understanding how we did DeMar wrong And we owe all kinds of things to DeMar and Drake. Whatever your personal beef and your bullshit, you just go ahead and deal with Kendrick and not even drag DeMar into this over and over again. It's just a bad look. You got to understand that, you're not more popular in a lot of cases than DeMar DeRozan in Toronto. Some other people, they're more basketball people than your music kind of people, like me, are going to pick DeRozan, not you, bro. And it's not a thing about not like us, Toronto versus Compton. I'm Toronto all the way, baby. And I can be Toronto all the way and still support DeMar DeRozan. You do not define what Toronto is, Drake. And if somebody walks across that line, stands with DeMar looking at you from the other side, that's all right. You're not a totalitarian dictator like that wannabe piece of shit that's in the White House right now. You cannot dictate what Toronto people should be saying about DeMar DeRozan. No, you found that. You found that. And a lot of people are like me. They're like, nah, I'm with DeMar. I can't get with you on this, Drake. You're making yourself look bad, bro. You're making yourself look bad. And that's what it is right there. That's it right there. I don't know. Damn, that's cold. Kaz is saying, I agree with MJ, thinking about what possibly was going on with Delano and Justin. Maybe. We don't know. This is speculation. Once again, this is just us having conversations as Raptors fans about why did this happen or this, and what's going on with Delano Bent. Why is Delano Bent not finding a team right now? What's going on with that, huh? What's going on with that? That's right. Fiercely saying, when someone is passionate about something, it transcends to their actions. Masai, Bobby saw it through Scotty, hence the rebuild around him. I'm even tempted to say Larry Tenenbaum had a hand in it. Yeah, I don't know. Larry is the owner, or what? He's a part owner still. He is still involved in the ownership of the Raptors, guys. He does have a chunk of the Raptors to a degree, but Ed is the main chunk, and he is the main owner, and he is the end-all, be-all at the bucket line stops here, and that's scary. But so far, we just keep going forward in the post-Masai era and keep stock everything all the time, see what Keith Pelly's doing, and hopefully MLSE and Ed Rogers III will be kind and just to the Raptors and allowing them to compete to get to the highest levels and win more championships. That's all I ask for, Keith Pelly and MLSE and Ed Rogers. Allow us a real chance to compete and win, just like the Toronto Blue Jays are doing at the end of their season right now, beating the Boston Red Sox last night. Good job, Blue Jays. You need to get these games against Boston at the end here and the ones against Tampa and finish strong and win that AL East pennant. That's right. Don't be messing around with it right now. Don't fumble right at the end and get the Yankees that pennant right at the end. Y'all need to get it all the way through to the end. And that's all we want, MLSE, is the ability to be run correctly by Bobby Webster with no interference by MLSE and providing the tools and the money and the ability to get a good team together to compete at the highest level and win NBA championships. That's what we want. That's it right there. That's right. Chrissy's got Scotty on blast. I know Kareem was doing some pro Drake stuff in there, and he's retracted his messages. Listen, Kareem, I love that you're standing with Drake, and I understand your point of view on this, and I get it. I get the whole point that people are saying DeMar stabbed Drake in the back, that DeMar was there. He needed help, and Drake was there for him when he got traded, and he talked to him, and he's like, oh, I was there for him. And then he shows up in a video with this other guy, and he says, I'm a pedophile. I get that side of the story, but once again, I'm going to say this is just bullshit. Like, the song by Kendrick is bullshit, not like us. I get it. These allegations go around all over the place all the time. Jeffrey Epstein, P. Diddy. There's a lot of shit going on with this kind of stuff, and this shit is serious shit. We should not be poo-pooing sex trafficking, child sex exploitation, and things like this. These are very serious, bad crimes that happen on the underside and the underbelly of society in the darkest places every day. And in some ways, look, I get it. If Drake is not guilty, he should be like, you're so full of shit. I would never do anything with anybody like that. His relationship with that girl from Stranger Things is questionable. Let's just put it that way. The age that Millie Brown was at when he started talking to her and the way they were talking to each other is questionable. Let's just put it that way. So there is a little bit of evidence that, maybe Drake should be not dipping so low in the female age group to talk to people and be friendships and stuff. I mean, I understand if it's just friendship. Sure, that's great. But there's some of it that didn't look right. Let's just put it that way. I don't know, man. In some ways, I want Drake to start doing more meaningful things with his life Stop making samba beat fuckboy records. Start writing about cultural, political, societal issues and start making a difference that's good. In some ways, you're like cotton candy kind of fluff bullshit with your music. If you made some music that actually changed the world or had a statement to it that could actually improve the world, I'd respect you more, Aubrey, is what I'd say right now. So, yeah, you go ahead and make your elevator music and sing about the girl that you wish you could call right now that you can't and do all that bullshit. And you know what, in some ways, I'll see Kendrick singing about America and the problems in the United States, and I'll have way more respect for him because he's writing music that matters. And you're writing music for fuckboys who just want to have as many conquests as possible. It's like, what is this? Okay, yeah, the pickup artist guy or the guy who may actually be trying to help America see its race relation issues. It's not that I even like Kendrick Lamar's music that much. I really don't. It's just that I know that he's making music that matters more than Drake's. Drake's may sell more in some ways. It may be this and this, but Kendrick's a real artist. He's actually doing things that matter. Drake, in some ways, his music don't fucking matter. It don't matter. It's just his own ego is his music. That's truth right there. What I just dropped right there. That is truth. That right there is truth. That's right. When has Drake ever made a song that is political or important or has anything to do with something that matters in the world other than himself? He only writes about himself. That's it. That is it. Boom goes the dynamite. Let's go. Fiercely saying, in regards to Jarrett McCain, I guess his misfortune symbolizes he's fitting right in the Sixers culture with Embiid and PG-13 as mentors. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would have it to say that the Sixers training staff and medical staff is not as good as the Raptors. I would have it to say that. I think that they've had different injury issues for years now. When you go all the way back to Markelle Fultz, you could look at the whole career of Joel Embiid. You could talk about Paul George last year. Yeah, I think they've had serious injury issues for years and years now, Ben Simmons. So it's like, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, Jarrett McCain, just add him to the list. Just add him to the list. Fiercely saying at WNBA games 3 tonight. Oh, the games 3 tonight. Yeah, there's 2 games tonight. They're game 3 of the next round. Let's go do the ref report real quick. Both matchups are 1-1. Who will win later? I say the Lynx and the Aces. That's who MJ's looking at. All right, our referees for Minnesota at Phoenix, game 3. Isaac Barnett is the crew chief, number 16. Referee Randy Richardson, number 11. Jenna Renault is the umpire, number 77. And alternate is Kevin Fahey, number 43. And Vegas at Indiana Fever for game 3. Roy Guibien is the crew chief, number 42. Eric Bruton is the referee, number 55. Tierra Cruz, number 5, is the umpire. And Ashley Gloss will be the alternate. So, yeah, WNBA action tonight. You know, the Fever in some ways stole the game from the Vegas Aces in Las Vegas in game 2. So it'll be interesting to see if they can continue that momentum and get the next win in this game. This is a pivotal game in a 5-game series in the playoffs. Game 3 is like game 5 in a 7-game series. So this is a very pivotal game. That game right in the middle of the series, game 3 of a 5-game series. This is going to determine possibly who's going to win these games today. So we'll just have to see how it goes down with the 4 teams tonight. So you're picking Lynx and Aces. Yeah, I think the Minnesota Lynx are going to be trying to clean up an embarrassing comeback from behind victory by the Phoenix Mercury. They were down by a huge amount and scrapped it up and came back and won in overtime. The Lynx are going to want to not mess around and make sure they're in the driver's seat against Phoenix after tonight. Now, the other game is a toss-up. The home court advantage of the Fever is great, but the Aces are determined not to go down 2-1. So I don't know. The Fever have surprised me. And in some ways, I would say it's easy to pick the Aces in this game, but I don't know if that's exactly true. Kelsey Mitchell recently announcing she will play an unrivaled this offseason. And that's huge. That's huge right there. That's right. Ottawa, stand up. There you go. Fiercely saying Ottawa, stand up. That's right. That's right. For fantasy, I like the points to be accounted for each player. Last year's format was indeed different. Yeah, I didn't do the points right. This year, the points will count 1 point for each point. And there won't be any extra points for 3-pointers or anything like that. If you get 3 points on a 3-point shot, you'll get 3 points for your team. And the scoring system's a little bit like our WNBA fantasy scoring. It's a bit like the one we did this summer. I'm going to still make sure it's all set up exactly right. And hopefully it will be 1,000 times better than our scoring system last year. It was screwed up last year, fiercely. It definitely was. Definitely was. Fiercey's laughing at Trevor J. I'm guessing the heavy lady lost the fight. Yeah, I don't know how that is. Like, even if she runs out of energy, does the other lady pounce on her then? No, don't get close to her. You're probably getting swatted. And even if you come close to her, you probably get body slammed. So in some ways, yeah, come closer to me. I'm out of breath. Now I can grab you. That's what I think is probably happening there. No, I don't think she lost. I think that the fight just ended because the other girl ran away. And the big girl is just like, I need to sit down. That's kind of probably what happened right there. Randolph saying, blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks family. No one can stop you from loving them. Make sure that you owe no one love. I like this. This is a very interesting word of wisdom from Randolph Phillips. Blessing the Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families. And Randolph, everybody you touch in your life, blessings to everyone. I like this. You know what this is going to be, guys? This is a statement of unconditional love for everyone, not just the people you love, but also your enemies. This is a crazy thing. I want to tell you guys a story about earlier this year when we had the federal election and Mark Carney won the election. I was in the grocery store one day and we were the people in the line waiting to check our groceries out. And there were older people around me from the country, conservatives. And we're standing in line. We're talking about who we're going to vote for. And I said, man, you guys, we can't vote for Pierre. He's too much like Donald Trump. We've got to vote for Carney. He's somebody that I don't even like. I'm liberal. And they all looked at me like, whoa, you're a liberal? Whoa. And they looked at me and they were like, whoa. And I said, yeah. And you know what? I'm telling you guys right now, Mark Carney is not somebody that I totally want either. I want the NDP. And this is the meeting in the middle between you guys and me. As far as this is the person, Mark Carney. We need to elect him the Prime Minister of Canada because y'all will be happy with him and I'll be happy with him. It's meet in the middle. And I said to these people, even though they looked at me like I was a leper, like I was an outcast, as soon as I let it be known that I'm a leftist, that I'm a liberal, they looked at me. I said to them to their face, I said, I want you guys to know I love you. I told them that. I said that straight. And then they were like, really looked at me all shit-faced, like, what did he say that for? Because this is the truth. Division in politics and everything like this has gotten so out of control. It's like, look, we got to love everybody, even if they're perceived as enemies. They're not. These are just other people with different views in our world. And the rhetoric right now is so dangerous right now. So what do you do to fight that? You come with love. And you even come for love for even those that would do so much harm to you. There's so much power in that. Trust me. Many people have found that in a very bad position. That if you find a place in your heart to forgive those that would do you wrong and still show love to them, that is so Christ-like. That is the thing that Jesus loves and will get you saved. If there's some sort of rapture and you love your enemies, you love those that will hurt you, you're going. You're going. That's the way the rules work. It's not the spiteful, hateful people that are vindictive and saying, you're this, so I have to punish you because you're evil. No. You got to come at love with everybody. Even the ugliest, most racist piece of shit MAGA people, we have to love you, even though you're so misguided and so full of shit and causing so much horrible shit right now. That is what will win in this whole thing in the end is, they come with hate, we come with love, and love wins. And I appreciate Randolph Phillips for putting this statement in my mouth today by giving me his comment to react to. Thank you, Randolph. That's right there. Yeah, when I said I love you to those people in the grocery store, they looked at me like I was crazy. You don't know me. Why would you say you love me? I hate everyone automatically, but you're saying you love everyone automatically? That's right. And that's the difference. And I may not go to church every Sunday, but I'll tell you right now, I'm more with Christ in that attitude than you are the other way. And that's just the truth. That's the truth. And that's the thing. Good Christians will understand this in the MAGA world. There's like, no, this is not Christ-like. I've been going to Bible study my whole life. And this has never been the way it's supposed to be as far as hating Latinos and everybody else and hating this and hating that. No, this is not what Jesus taught me at Bible Sunday school my whole entire life. Y'all are switching it up. No, I don't get this. That's why they're confused. That's why they're like, why are we doing this? That's why a lot of them will not want to do very heinous, bad things to other people because they're true Christians, even though they're misguided in a MAGA world. It's something does not compute Will Robinson. And it does not compute Will Robinson. They're telling me to hate, but Jesus always told me to love. That's it right there. That's it right there. Fierce's saying Drake collecting heartbreaks. Serena, Rihanna, the list goes on. But those moments create fire albums. He should focus on that rather than dissing Debo and others. Stick to your craft. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Drake, you're very successful. I'm proud of you to a degree for being top of the music world from our city. I'm proud of you for helping the Raptors get respect and helping build our brand as a global ambassador. But I can be proud of you to an extent and then say, oh, wow, now you're toxic. Now you are causing problems for us. I am one of the people that stood up for you for most of the last 15 years in your involvement in the Raptors. I have my cousins that saying, why is Drake even around? He's so stupid. Why is this around the team? It's such a distraction. I'm like, I'm trying to tell them Drake's actually helping the team. He's actually really helping the team on the down low. He's helping to recruit people to come here. It's more attractive to play for the Raptors. He's helping with our brands and the way our team looks with OVO and the styles. Our style has gone up since he's been involved. And, he's done great contributions to the Raptors franchise. And I've stood up for him so much over the last, I can't at this point. Once you stab DeMar in the back, I'm sorry. I can't stand for you anymore because this is fucked up. And I was willing to look past what you did last year and good time, good behavior, be like, all right, I'm good with Drake again. But you reignited this shit just recently. And I'm like, no, you didn't need to do that. That's all on your fault, Aubrey. Like, seriously, if somebody's calling you a pedophile, you got to be like Trump. I don't want to release the files. I don't want any of this. Don't talk about it. Distract. Meanwhile, Drake's bringing it up, throwing it in everybody's face. The opposite of what Trump's trying to do, distract the hell out of the country away from Epstein files. Meanwhile, Drake's bringing his whole beef up and putting his pedophile charges in front of everybody's face again. That's your own damn fault, Aubrey. You did not have to bring this up and flare it up again in the last 2 weeks. It's so stupid he did that. Seriously, it's really dumb. It's like, hello, people aren't thinking about this all of a sudden. Oh, let's go ahead and put it in everybody's head again. That's your own damn fault, Drake. That's your own damn fault. That's right. Cream saying having a fantasy survivor team is wild. I need this for the Bachelorette. You could do that. It's very simple. I do it with my parents and Adriana, the four of us. We've been doing it for like 5 years now. And we look forward to it. We really enjoy it. We have a draft. And we pick the players, and sometimes we pick them sight unseen. It's really weird. Like, we don't know who we're picking exactly because you don't really know that much about Survivor contestants other than their videos that they talked before. And you kind of go through figuring out who you want. And, at drafting Survivor teams for a while, I've gotten good at kind of picking who's going to win. Last season, I believe I won last year. The last season, I had the winner. I don't even remember who won last season. I won last Survivor season, though. I remember that. You could do a Bachelorette. Just get all the contestant lists, get a couple of friends that you like watching the show with. And yeah, it's fun. It's fun. There's a little bit of bragging and shit talking for our teams between my parents and Adriana and I. It's pretty fun. Yeah. Kareem saying Coca-Cola Coliseum won't hold enough for the tempo. Maybe Drake should build an OVO tempo facility. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Drake, I mean, you won't get in good graces. Build some more infrastructure for basketball in Toronto. There's other things you could be doing that get in the news that I'll make me like you. I like that. Cass saying, are you doing the Survivor Fantasy with Adriana? Of course. Yes, for sure we are. And it's a big part of one of the fun things we like to do. James is saying Drake has classic albums, need that old Drizzy. So far gone. Take care. Nothing was the same. There you go. He should let go of all this beef and move on. I agree. He just makes himself look bad. It's not that Kendrick brought it up, right? Did Kendrick make another song that attacked him? And it's on again. They're going to drop songs every week and just go after each other. I'm telling you, half of this is Drake just wanting to be in the news and sell more records or just being like, I hate it. You should figure out some other gimmick to get your name out there again. Some other publicity stunt. Maybe you should do something amazing for the tempo. And it'll look really good. Maybe it's like very pro-female, pro-feminist. You could do a very pro-feminist move with Toronto Tempo somehow, some way, Aubrey, and you'll just look good. It'll be kind of like doing a unofficial community service for your possible crimes. Wayne's here. Good to see Sergeant at Arm, Wayne Strainer. Thank you for being the bailiff of the channel. Morning, Raptor Freaks. Aubrey makes music for me. I don't need political inspirations for any North Americans. I have Bob Marley, Peter Tosh. Aubrey is from a musical family and makes fun music I love. There you go. I like that. And that's fine, too. But I'm just saying he has such a huge platform. He has such influence. He could be doing more with his life. And even if he just did one song or he made one stand, he could do his normal stuff that you enjoy, Wing. But if he took one stand, I don't know, he's on the latest We Are the World or something like that. Maybe he starts something like Farm Aid, like Willie Nelson. I just want him to do something that matters other than just the music that is enjoyed by Wayne Strainer. I want him to do something that matters to the world, that absolutely changes the world for the better. Because as a person with such prominence and visibility, he has power that he can utilize that he is not stepping into. LeBron James, to an extent, has been criticized for this also. That, LeBron could be way more actively politically in certain ways, and he has. He's stepped up in certain ways and done certain stuff that makes me respect him more. I'm just saying, you have such a huge platform. Utilize it for good is what I'm asking Drake right there. That's right. And he doesn't have to do all his songs like that. He doesn't have to turn into U2 and just make a bunch of political songs. No, he could do his old songs, and maybe he just has a couple of songs that are like meaningful because they help maybe child hunger, or maybe they help put a spotlight on abuse, like Janie's Got a Gun by Aerosmith. This kind of shit can help the world. And I'm just saying, Drake has an influence that he's not utilizing for certain things. He can pick one thing that he cares strongly about and stand on it and make a song about it. And if it makes a positive difference, I'll respect him more. He doesn't have to do a whole album. He doesn't have to change his whole look. He just has to do something. And I don't know anything like this. If there is something like this that I just don't know about, somebody tell me. Because I've never seen him do anything worthwhile in the vein that I just described. Seriously. Yeah, everyone takes losses. That's right. Mobester's here. It's not over yet, Lex. That's right. This is Yankees fan coming in here saying, yeah, it's not over yet. Blue Jays are in trouble. Yankees are nipping at their heels. And the American League East has not been decided in Major League Baseball this year yet. So Blue Jays, get going, Vladdy. Get this shit done. Come on now. That's right. Still tied in AL East with 3 games. Don't fumble right at the end. We need to get this over the Yankees. How often are the Blue Jays getting a chance to win the AL East? Ever. We need to get this. Don't mess around with your food. Beat the Yankees. Beat the Red Sox. That's right. Cream saying, Lex, today you're the one who brought up politics. That said, I'm going to buy some Chapman's ice cream. Doug Ford should quit being a mayor and be the spokesman for Chapman's. His deep throat was impressive. That's crazy. I don't even know what you said there. Phrasing. Yeah. All right. I reserve the right to bring up the politics, but you guys, in some ways, it's like, I know I can't help it to a degree. But in some ways, I want to kind of have the right balance of it. And I know that if you guys introduce it in the comments, we're going to go there. But if I reserve the right to maybe bring it up just a little bit in tidbits around things, like maybe use it as an example with something in the NBA we're talking about, or like I was using it as an example with Drake in some ways right now. I know in some ways I'm like confounding. I'm like, what are you're saying no politics, but then you go and talk politics, Lex. I reserve the right to talk politics, but I'd rather not have the comments steer me towards them. Does that make sense? Because in some ways, I don't want to do a daily, let's check and see how the United States is burning down to the ground kind of check. I just don't want to do it. It's depressing. And in some ways, I'm so proud and happy. I live in the great country of Canada, and that we still believe in freedom, that we have a charter of rights. We have a prime minister that's looking out for the people. We have a country of a lot of nice, really amazing people right across it from all facets of life. And we're more likely to be friendly and nice to strangers in Canada. I still believe in that. And when I go out in public and I'm in Ontario, I see examples of this left and right all over the place. The humanity of Canadians is still there, and the heart and the passion and the love and the niceness. But elbows are still up. And, American people come to this country and visit, and they'll find, mixed reaction. Some people may be a little bit like standoffish and a little suspicious of Americans in Canada, but a lot of people are still being the same Canadians they always were, and just welcoming and, thank you for coming to our country. Welcome. We want to be good hosts, that kind of energy. So, we can be a more prominent world leader in the world as a people, because the United States is going downhill so fast with arrogance and ignorance and hate that we need to be a good, stark example of the opposite. And Canada can step into being more of a world leader. And that's what Mark Carney's doing, whether he's making more trade pacts and agreements with other countries in Europe. And they just did a thing with a Central American company country recently. They're doing all kinds of stuff, like all over the place. And in some ways, we can step into more of a leadership role globally as the U.S. completely goes isolationist, like Vladimir Putin's Russia, and cuts a lot of economic ties. There's all kinds of opportunities for us up here. Canada's really going to thrive because the U.S. is going downhill. Seriously, because there's a lot of business that wants to be done with the United States, and they're just diverting it to us. And that's fantastic. Thank you, Trump. You're going to make Canada one of the strongest countries in the world because of your stupidity. Seriously. And I'm here for it. And that's why I say buy the straight goods on Canadian goods. And this morning we're talking about oil. You know, in some ways, oil is a dying industry. But while we still have to kind of rely on gas and oil before we transition to green energy and get rid of it, finally, we will. Trust me, we will. The lobbyists will run out of money at some point, and we will get this. Urban Oil is a great oil company. They're Canadian owned and they're vertically integrated. 769 stations across Eastern Canada. If you live in Eastern Canada and you see it Irving Oil, you're supporting Canada by buying your gas there. So go ahead and go on to Irving Oil if you're going to buy some gas out in Eastern Canada. There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. Yeah, Chapman's is a great company. I love Chapman's ice cream. I eat it myself. And Doug Ford and I have that in common. And apparently he's eating it in interviews now and talking with his mouth full while he's doing the interview. It's very rude. You know, there's a couple things I can line up with on Doug Ford. The speed cameras are another one. I feel like the speed camera thing he's doing right now is kind of a weird Jedi mind trick to say, you know, he's sitting in his office like, man, people hate me so much. Why do people hate me so much? I'm Doug Ford. I tried to give them more beer. They don't like you because you destroyed Ontario Place. And you also destroyed the Science Center. And you're not listening to them. I know, but I have to have these big deals to grease the wheels of my friends so they can make a lot of money. And I can get elected again by them paying me to get back in. We get it, but maybe we can make you more popular. What do people hate right now? Oh, they really hate the speed cameras. There's a lot of people hurting financially, and the speed cameras are absolutely the worst. You know what? Let's get rid of them. Maybe people will like me more if I get rid of the speed cameras. That's what I think that shit is right there. I mean, I'm not against them getting rid of the speed cameras. That's great. Fantastic. I'm for that. I will support you on that. I'm not just blindly against Doug Ford, but I feel like this is one of those kind of like, underhanded token decisions to try and get more popularity, whether it's him trying to sell beer in convenience stores, all this kind of bullshit, that kind of stuff, let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying Drake always rapping about past relationships. Drake is the female version of Taylor Swift. Laugh out loud. That's pretty good. I like that. I mean, the other way around, or maybe not. You know what? Yeah, we can do gender roles here. I'll just say this. Also on Survivor, I noticed that when they brought out the immunity idols, there were two idols and they were murder people. One of them was like Poseidon, and the other one was like the female Poseidon. I forget what her name is. But, I was looking, and this is very interesting optics. Which one of the two trophies, the immunity idols on Survivor this season, is going to be the primary immunity idol that is the main one? And I looked at them, and I'm like, the male one is kind of just holding a trident. And he's got his beard, looking all Aquaman's dad. And then the other one had a pearl. The female one had a pearl, and it was a little bit more decorative. And they gave the female one as the primary number one idol. And in some ways, that's very symbolic. You know, our society is so full of stratifying on the down low in ways that we don't always recognize. There is perception that is built into how they do things, like whether they put Scotty to the side of an NBA ad on the side of it with all 30 teams represented in an NBA ad, and they put Scotty to the side, whether they rank things, where they put alphabetical order, put Toronto at the bottom because of T. There's always ways you can try and make people rank things in their heads by the way you put graphs. It's the way voting ballots can be manipulated. You could do all kinds of stuff like that. And in our society, patriarchy, there's always been men first, women second. So in some ways, it was very symbolic that the Survivor immunity idols, the female one is the primary idol. And I love that. Like I said, the sacred masculines ran this country, ran this world into the ground with war and greed and not very nurturing energy. And the sacred feminine is all about motherhood and nurturing and taking care and love and compassion. And that's why I want this world to stop being so misogynist. We need to allow female energy to be in leadership more and more. There's a lot of countries in the world that have had female leaders that have been absolutely fantastic at what they've done, whether it's New Zealand, Scandinavian countries. And I'm just saying that we need more female leadership because women are more about nurturing and because, motherhood and different things like that. And that energy in leadership is much better than war, greed, anger, arrogance that the males are showing. So the more the sacred feminine takes the steering wheel on this great planet called Gaia, Mother Nature, Mother Earth, the better we're going to heal and the better we're going to go forward. So look to leadership from women. Seriously, not just women's sport coming up, but just we need women to take the reins and say, guys, you guys are assholes. You're fucking things up like Drake. And we need you to get out of the way. And we're going to start running things for a while because we need to heal. And a woman's energy will heal. And this is true. This is true what I'm saying right now. And that's the thing. They didn't like the idea of Kamala being president. So the rich white male oligarchs were like, no, we can't have a woman in charge. There's a little bit of a barrier still that we got to punch through and get this to be this level. Some people will be like, what are you talking about, Lex? No, the sacred feminine needs their chance to run the world because the sacred feminine will fix the world. I'm telling you right now. So you know what? Drake is the male version of Taylor Swift. That's what we'll say right here. That's right. Shaq Lindsay's right. And I'm giving him a dunk because I think he's right. I think that they're very similar musical artists and that their material is very derivative of the same subjects. It's just from different perspectives. That's right. Wayne's saying basketball. Preseason always is good. We overestimate our team. Reality sets in. Aubrey is generous with his talent. He makes artists money and does charity quietly. That's true. I will say that. He has been giving. You know what? You're right. Maybe I'm not giving him enough credit. I just want him to do some huge thing that is really monumentally earth-changing, that just matters. You know what I'm saying? Like something where it said, this is what Drake did, and this is why he's a great man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want from him. He has the ability. I want to see it, Drake. That's what I'm saying. Raptor Streak is saying, I love you, bro. I want you to do this. Change the world for the better. That's what I want. Right there. Yeah. Kareem saying, Millbuster, we own the tiebreaker. That's right. This is cantankerous. This is getting a little contentious. The Yankees and Blue Jays right here. The tiebreaker is the Blue Jays. That's right. Orioles going to kick the Yankees' ass. That's right. We're Blue Jays fans or Orioles fans right now. We're rooting for that orange and black. And our little bird cousin, go on, Orioles. And get them Yankees pecked out their eyes. Milbester saying, Kareem, the teams are tied. It doesn't matter. Yankees just need a win and Jays lose and Rays the next 3 games and we win the division. We caught up despite the tiebreaker. That's the thing, though. If y'all are tied, though, we win. And that's what they're saying. That's all they're saying. So, it is a lot. There's some baseball still to be played. October is not here yet, but it's coming very soon. Very, very soon. October is coming very, very soon. Kareem Thomas saying Doug Ford deep-throated a Chapman's ice cream bar during a presser. Well, that's an image I didn't want to have in my head. Jeez. Milbester saying Rays are better than the Orioles, even if both teams aren't bad in the AL. Well, either way, we'll just see how it all goes down. Baltimore, y'all could do us a solid. Come on now, Orioles. We are bird cousins. That's right. Come on, Orioles. We need a help here. Come on now. That's right. The Jays have a better chance losing to the Rays. Ooh, Milbester, get that garbage out of here. You coming in here. We may be the Raptors freaks, but we're Blue Jays freaks when it comes to the Major League Baseball. Come on, get that garbage out of here. That's right. Kareem Thomas saying you tied. So if we win the next 3 and you win the next 3, we got the tiebreaker. Also, the Yankees play on a field that is like for high schoolers. It's so small. I know kids who play T-ball that can clear the fence. Yeah, Tampa's their field, the New York field. See, I thought that the Rays were playing in a weird field right now. Aren't they? Aren't they playing on like a spring training field because Tropicana's all screwed up? I think that's what they're playing right now, right? Right, dunk for Kareem. All right, we'll do that, Cass. Assist from Cass to Kareem for the trash talk with Yankees Nation right now going on with our Blue Jays guys. That's right. We'll do that. That's right. We'll see what happens, Milbester. Yeah, we'll see. 224 for Kareem Thomas. That's right. 224. And I'll give a dunk to Milbester too for showing his face in here and talking trash. Milbester, you got a RJ Barrett number 9, bro. You got an RJ Barrett number 9. There you go. I like it. I like it. All right, let's see. Wayne saying, absolutely love talking about issues. Just difficult with 140 words. I love Canada for accepting me. I love the Raptors. I love the music of The Weeknd, Drake, Jim Carrey, and Canadian Winters, all of it. Look at that. Wayne Strainer, listen, I'm going to tell you something about Canada that's different than the United States. We don't expect you to assimilate. That's the thing. The United States is messed up. They want you to come to their country and become American. I don't care if you're from Vietnam. I don't care if you're from Nicaragua. I don't care if you're from Finland. You better come here and speak American when you come here. Yeah, that's right. They expect this. In fact, I watched a Wired report with an immigration lawyer, and it was very informative. He's talking about the things that ICE can and can't do. But then he starts talking about, well, when people come to the United States, they need to understand they need to assimilate to American life. I'm like, bullshit. Fuck that. That is not right. Assimilation is not right. People should be able to be in the country and still keep their old culture and the new culture in the new country to an extent. Wayne Strainer can be a man of Caribbean heritage and still practice his Caribbean stuff here in Canada and enjoy the great things of Canada that he just listed also. What is that? Abundance is being able to share and mold and meld them together. You don't want people to come to Canada and just show up and just be all the same. Yeah, sure. Leave the bad habits and criminal activity you may have done in other countries that you could get away with. You can't do here because there's law and order in certain ways. But we shouldn't be telling people to culturally change themselves to assimilate to Canadian culture or American culture. That's part of what this continent is about. People came here and immigrated, and they brought all their cultures, and we're better and richer for it. That's how SGA was made. Without the culture of meeting his parents in Toronto because they had a cookout for Caribbean people. That SGA is not even in this earth without diversification and non-assimilation, where people can actually hold on to their roots, their vibrancy, their music, their food, their traditions, their holidays. You know, fuck that. You want them to come to Canada and just follow all the Canadian holidays? Well, why can't they have the Canadian holidays and their old holidays too? That's what I'm saying. Assimilation is not right. We should celebrate diversity. We should celebrate different cultures, and we should allow people that come from other countries to keep their cultural identity with where they're from. And you know what? They can assimilate the level they want to. It's their choice. If you want to assimilate full into being, I'm a full Canadian guy from Indonesia, you go ahead. You have that right. That's freedom right there. But in some ways, you know, it may hurt you if you don't learn the language of the country you're in. I get it, you know, a little bit of that, a little bit of there. You know, Wayne, I will tell you this. If you ever feel like you cannot say everything you want to say in a statement because you have 140 characters, you can call me. You got my phone number? You can call me. Well, I'll put you on the air any day. You got that, Sergeant Wayne. So if you feel like you need more time to espouse exactly how you feel, you're welcome to call me. You call me, I will answer the phone and put you on the air right now. That's right. Milbester's saying, let's Rays go back to Tropicana Field next season after fixing the roof from the hurricane. Stu Stemberg, the past Rays owner, sold the team to a new investor group from Jacksonville. Okay, that's interesting. And the new ownership group of Rays have connections to Tampa area more than Stemberg did, and they hope to get a new stadium built in Tampa instead of St. Pete. That's good information. It's interesting. There was a little bit of talk that the Tampa Bay Rays were going to be playing some of their games in Canada for a little while there. But that didn't ever happen. I was thinking it was Montreal. They were going to play part of their season in Montreal while Tropicana was all screwed up, but they did not like that, the fans in Florida. Well, this is good. I mean, there's been a lot of talk of the Rays moving out of the Tampa area. That's surprising. You know, would they move them to Jacksonville? Nah, probably not. But that's interesting information, Milbester. Kareem saying Yankees back wall is like 50 feet from home plate. The fact that 6 guys on their team don't have 50-plus runs are questionable. That's funny. He's saying you guys got a little field, and the fact that y'all don't all have crazy amounts of home runs is a red flag. I won't disagree with that to a degree. That's right. All right, we're at the end of the comments. Let me keep going with my tabs. Let's see. Where are we at here? Let's do the Instagram stories. We got Garrett Temple and Kara Temple up real early yesterday. They got up at 5 a.m. for morning spouse run and weightlifting start. So they start at 5 and they're out there running around. Garrett's out there running around in Toronto with no shirt on. I think they're in Toronto. I'm pretty sure they're in Toronto. And they're out there running around at like 5 in the morning in their neighborhood, Kara and Garrett Temple. And then they're in the gym lifting weights. And they finish up their workout right around 6 a.m. Right around 6 a.m. They already put in so much work. before the sun's even come up. So what a beautiful, lovely couple. They're just amazing, man. They ran like 2 miles yesterday morning. And man, you guys are awesome. Look at the weightlifting. You know what? I think what Garrett and Kara are doing is they want to show a great example of an African-American couple being successful and being awesome. I mean, in some ways, it's like the Cosby Show. It's like, look at this. These are great role models for what you should try and be as a couple, as a husband and a wife. Kara and Garrett Temple, a great, great family and couple, the Temple family. That's right. And there's the kids. Look at them cheesing, all smiling. You know, look at those kids. They're so cute. There's the little baby that just came this year. That's awesome. Let's see. Luget's Dort is with some friends. I don't know who those guys are. Flavor First. I don't know what's going on there. Flavor First. Seasoned Dreams. Viral Foe. Okay. I don't know who those guys are. Let's see who else we got. Teresa Resch has got a finals watch party for the WNBA finals. Toronto Tempo watch party. We'll see the party locations. They're going to be across Canada. So there'll be one in Toronto. There'll be one in Montreal. There'll be one in Vancouver, I'm pretty sure. So if you guys want to watch the WNBA finals with the Toronto Tempo official watch parties, they're going to be having them. Okay, there's the locations. Toronto, it'll be at Left Field Brewery, October the 3rd. In Halifax, Niche Lounge, October the 5th. Montreal, L'Espace Public, October the 5th. And also Bar Champs. And then Vancouver, they'll be at Bells and Whistles on October the 8th. So, yeah, this is pretty cool stuff that Toronto Tempo has been very engaged with the community without any players or a coach. They're already getting out there and getting their brand out there in people's faces, and they're going to know about them. Let's see. Coach Andrew Jones is out in the streets of Oakville with his daughter, and she's putting up them shots. That's right. That's right. She's putting up them shots. Chris Boucher, this is sad, man. Chris had to go to his grandfather's funeral in the last day. He's wearing a very bright purple flower, very Raptors looking, and just sad, man. You can tell Chris is really hurting from this. He posted a picture of the old man recently in sadness when he heard he had passed, and they had his funeral, and I feel bad. There's Chris sitting in the funeral home with the casket in front of him. There they are about to put him to rest. God take him with you is what Chris is saying. Yeah, very, very sad. My condolences and sympathies to the Boucher family and everybody affected by the passing of I believe it's his grandfather, guys. I believe it's his grandfather. I'm not totally sure, though. But, yeah, Chris is in a mood, man. He's feeling it. You know, in some ways, Chris is in a weird place coming from the Raptors and going to Boston now. It's a new chapter. He's got a lot to prove. He's got a new opportunity. And you know what? He's getting somewhere with the passing of this funeral and also his baptism earlier this week. You know, he's going to be interesting this year. I'm going to be watching how Chris moves this year. It'll be interesting. Kyle Lowry celebrating, going to Prime. That's right. Excited to join the team. Welcome to Prime, Kyle Lowry. Oh, big butt. Get on that mic and tell him like it is. And be the Charles Barkley of your generation. That's right. That's what I want for you, Kyle. You're going to be Charles Barkley's spot coming up soon in the next couple of years because I know how you are. You're brash, irreverent, and outspoken. And you are exactly the right DNA and type to be in the place of Barkley and time as future goes on, because you are like that. And you're funny and likable enough that people like you being like that. You can be a little bit of an asshole. And we won't be mad at you. Draymond will be mad at you when you're an asshole. That's just it right there. Kyle Lowry continues to teach through new gig with Amazon Prime Video. That's right. That's right. He's going to work for Jeff Bezos, guys. Let's see. Toronto Raptors official admin has got some new space at Real Sports. They've redone Real Sports down by the gym, the Scotiabank, and they've made a Raptors area. I love this because most of Real Sports has been just general sports with TVs everywhere, but it looks like they've redone that front room area, or maybe that's upstairs. It does look like it may be upstairs because the stairs are coming up, but there's a special room in the Real Sports restaurant next to Scotiabank Arena now that's all Raptors. And it's even got part of the Raptors court on it. And it's very Raptors decorated. And I love that. I love that they did that. In some ways, that's the kind of stuff I like to see. Instead of homogenizing all the sports at Rogers under MLSE, well, give the Raptors a special space at Real Sports. I love that. And they're showing really cool stuff. They got a shot clock. I'll bet you Real Sports is going to be where they do the Raptors tonight again. And that'll be what they do. They got some sort of flash game with the NBA Paint Raptor. So if you want to play Rap Attack It's on the Raps at. If you want to play a video game with the little cartoon dinosaurs appearing on socks now. Raptors officially giving us some wallpapers for our phone. They're showing the art of how to make the wallpaper and how to cut the picture out. So if you want RJ, Scotty, Jamal, Jacoby, Grady, Emmanuel, Brandon, any of the Raptors on your phone for your wallpaper, the Raptors have got you. They come out with a whole bunch of new wallpaper pictures you put on your picture for your phone. So when you turn your phone on, oh, there's Brandon Ingram. Oh, there's Jamal Shed. There's Scotty Barnes. You know, pick whichever one you want, whichever picture you think is cool. They give you a lot of different options yesterday. The art of the crop for your wallpaper is what the Raptors official admin was all about. Sir Jabaka, where in the world are you, sir? Where in the world are you? Thank you to Tom Brown. What did they do? They sent you, dear Serge, enjoy your Tom Brown family from your Tom Brown family. What's Tom Brown? I guess it's some clothing or something. So Serge is getting swag sent to him from Tom Brown. And then also he's got a red hat on, and it's probably that tequila he's been pushing, the beer, the Spanish beer. But yeah, I don't know where you are, Serge. You could be still around Toronto somewhere. Colin Murray Boyle's putting on blast his lady called Chloe Kitts. She's got a fit, and he's just like, woo, she's hot, is what he's saying. He's like, that's my lady. She is a hottie, bobati, and she plays basketball. What a hottie. That's right. So, yeah, Colin is showing respect and appreciation for his girlfriend on his Instagram. Jonathan Mobo's got his wallpaper on his Instagram that Raptors admin cut out. And let's see. Jamal Shed has also got his wallpaper on his Instagram. Let's see. And he's also got his off-season training video, the one that he was doing with Alex Caruso, some of the sessions that Jamal Shed was doing around the champion of the Oklahoma City Thunder, Alex Caruso, who he's working with this offseason. Let's see. Eric Smith is congratulating his friend on their new Oakville digs. I guess it's Village Cigar Company. Okay, so it's a cigar company, and they've also got barber chairs. Looks great. And thanks for giving me my own room as a living memorial while honored. The bathroom. So they put Eric Smith with the Larry O'Brien in a picture on the toilet. What is that? What is that? Why are you doing that to him? AJ Lawson's got Steven Jackson on blast. I don't know what's going on. Oh, Steven Jackson's wearing October's very own Warriors gear, and AJ Lawson's wearing the Toronto's October's very own gear himself. So yeah, Steven Jackson's in this. Wait, there's a Knicks player too. So there's different teams OVO gear, and AJ's our representative, but there's other guys representing other NBA teams wearing the stuff, and there's Steven Jackson wearing it, former player. Okay, cool. That's interesting. Vin Bagnani is celebrating Daughter's Day and with his daughter, and that's it. That's the Instagram stories for today. You're going over what the hell the Raptors are doing through the Instagram. We got to see what's up right there. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Let's see what else you guys have been saying while I was doing that real quick right there. Let's see. W Stream, W Fam. Oh, thank you, Piercy. I got 13 minutes till 2 hours, so I'll get done hopefully in the next 13. Wayne Strainer saying, well said, Lex. I want to live in a world under more women leadership, not like Italy's Meloni, but Slovenia's prime minister. Milbester, you are family. You talk baseball and no pushback. You earned it. There you go. That's right. And he's also a big fan of track and field, like you guys are. And Milbester is a Dominican friend. And so, yeah, we can have that's the thing. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You know, he's a Knicks fan. He's a New York guy. He's a Yankees guy. We've been taught to hate the fans of other teams. No, he has way more in common with us than, Donald Trump has common with him. So we got to love our friend Milbester, even though he's rooting for the pinstripes right now while we're rooting for our Jays. And that's just how it is. That's just how it is. Exactly. Right there. Boom goes the dynamite. I just feel like, mothers and females are just nurturing, and they care about like peace and healing and love and positivity. They're not the warmongers that men can be. They're not the selfish, egotistical, greedy ass motherfuckers that will run roughshod over everyone just for their own selfish gain. Some women are like that. I won't say that it's just the stereotype, but I'm just saying a sacred feminine energy is healing, and the world needs that. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. More women in leadership is what I'm saying. That's right. Kareem saying Yankees allowed to grow facial hair now. Do they still have their mother's pack? Then they're orange every game. I always remember this because of Johnny Damon. Johnny Damon was a Red Sox for so long, and he looked like a caveman. He had the crazy beard and long hair playing for the Red Sox, but then he became a Yankee all of a sudden. And they had new rules, and Johnny Damon had to shave his face and cut his hair. And it was kind of weird. I was like, whoa. It's like, oh, it's because he's on the Yankees. He's not allowed to look like a caveman. And, well, he's on the Yankees, so you can actually see his face, and he's clean cut. So they changed that rule. The Yankees don't have to do that anymore? Interesting. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah. All Yankees pennant titles are bought. No, not one was organically manufactured. Shots fired. I mean, I'm not going to disagree. A lot of stuff that the Yankees have been successful for has become from payroll to buy things. And I know Milbester's like, come on, guys, don't be like this. I mean, it's true, though. The Yankees have bought to win in some ways. They have. And just like video games, you can pay to win. Just buy the extra stuff. I'm going to put my credit card on this Marvel game online. And I'm going to pay for Spider-Man Extra 2.0. And I'm going to win all the games because I paid for it. And that's how I won. The other people paying for free. I'm putting all this money invested in it. I'm paying to win. That's what I'm saying. That's right. Isaac's saying, W, let's grow. Let's grow WNBA. Let's grow Isaac Campbell. Let's grow, get, and find Chris Boucher. Maybe he is back because maybe his grandfather's funeral was in Canada. I don't know. That's probably likely. The funeral that he went to was not in the United States. It probably was over here. I don't know, though. I don't know for sure. Yeah, let's see. Milbester's saying Kareem, Red Sox too, man. Okay. And Trevor's saying Pascal's 22 in the NBA's top ranking. Yeah, we went over that the other day. I've done the whole 100 ranking that ESPN's come out with and talked about it. Top teams, all championships. Kareem out for Yankee blood this morning. I love it. There you go, Kaloy. There you go. All right, next tab is Raptors Reddit. Let's react to the Raptors Reddit this morning. They're talking about Kyle Lowry joining Prime broadcast team. Let's see what the comments are saying about this today on Reddit. Let's see what they're saying. Hope they got seat cushions big enough for my GROAT. That's pretty funny. That's pretty good. You don't need no seat cushions. They're built in. Yes, Raptors Reddit. Y'all winning again. That's right. Kyle shows up with his own cushions. Okay, so they're only worried about his butt, basically. Raptors Reddit is only worried about Kyle Lowry being comfortable with his butt. That's it. That's it. Kyle Lowry ain't no spot-up shooter. He ain't got no run to the corner to shoot like he's some third option, bitch. This ain't JJ Redick. This is a fucking god, human Steph Curry, come again. Only this time he's not a fucking pussy. Pull up from the fucking logo and fight you at the same time. Okay, this is a very ornery Raptors fan. In some ways, I'm not against what he's saying, but man, did you have to cuss like that? Seriously. Needs to join the Raptors coaching staff next. That's what the Raptors fans said. I don't know about that. And they're wondering if he's retired or not. No, he's not retired. He's going to play for the Sixers still. This is interesting. Somebody on here is saying the Charlotte has botched so many of their draft selections from 2021 onward. It makes me appreciate the solid draft selections we've had over that same time frame, even if the draft positions haven't been the highest in their respective drafts. Yeah, the Hornets have waived Nick Smith Jr. this morning, apparently. And this is totally astute viewpoint. I mean, look, let's look at this. The Charlotte Hornets have drafted horribly. The Portland Trailblazers have drafted horribly. There's a lot of teams that have drafted horribly, but Masai and Bobby weren't that. And that's why Masai didn't need to get fired, Ed Rogers, because he didn't do nothing wrong. We were doing a good job. And this Raptors fan understands now, wow, we've actually been really good with our front office the last few years, even if the team hasn't won, because we're getting good quality young players that are growing, and they're going to be good. That last year, the 5 players we acquired are going to be very good for us. Shamshay, Shed, Walter, Mobo, and Battle. So it's like, yeah, we could be the Hornets, guys. Let's just say that. All right, we could be the Hornets. Somebody found a Chris Bosh pencil case in their house, a relic of the times found in my storage at my folks' house. Pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's a Chris Bosh, like a school pencil case or something like that. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, there's your Raptors Reddit reactions right there. Seeing what's up with the Redditors and what they're saying. They're talking about Kyle Lowry's ass is what they're talking about. Guys, I said it was Serena Williams' birthday earlier, and that's true. It is Serena Williams' 44th birthday. Happy birthday, owner of the Toronto Tempo. But it's also former Raptor Greg Stiesma's birthday also. Greg Stiesma was a center for the Raptors around 2015, and he played 17 games for us. He averaged 0.8 points per game, but he was really known as a shot blocker. And, Greg Stiesma, you might see him in some of the early episodes of Open Gym from the very beginning. Now, Greg did not get drafted. He barely was in the league, but he did have a pro career playing for the Celtics, the Timberwolves, the Pelicans, and us. And well, he's kind of bounced around. I mean, wasn't a scorer in a university at Wisconsin. He was really just known as a shot blocker. And well, he had a short career. But I want to bring this up about Greg Stiesma right now. Greg Stiesma, happy birthday to you, sir. He's turned 40 today. And he's been very open and public about dealing with depression. Just like DeMar DeRozan, he has dealt with depression. It's got to be tough when you're a fringe NBA player who just barely got a taste. And, you only average like 2 points per game. People may talk trash and say stupid shit to you. But either way, I wish mental health and goodness and positivity and love towards Greg Stiesma today on his 40th birthday. And just understand, people love you out there, man. You're a Raptor. And whatever you go through at different times and stuff like that, get help, and people will be there for you. So I'm just saying, man, there's too much of this stuff. I found out recently that the great running back for the Cincinnati Bengals, Rudy Johnson, killed himself this week. And that just threw me for a freaking loop, because I can remember having Rudy Johnson on my fantasy football team in the 2000s when he was playing with Chad Ochocinco on that Cincinnati Bengals team with Carson Palmer. And it's just messed up that a guy that young named Rudy Johnson, former running back for the Bengals, killed himself because of CTE, depression, and that's messed up. And there's too much of this happening from the NFL. The head injuries in the NFL are shortening lives through CTE and depression. And the latest example is Rudy Johnson, formerly of the Cincinnati Bengals. That's sad. So Greg Stiesma, thank God you didn't play football. In some ways, you would probably be more danger of killing yourself because of head injuries. But whatever you go through with depression, man, there's help out there. DeMar DeRozan, your former teammate, is a great shining example of it. And there you go. Happy 40th birthday, Greg Stiesma. That's what I'm saying right now. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's crazy. That threw me for a loop when I heard about Rudy Johnson. That threw me for a loop, man. When I saw that headline, I was like, no, that's messed up, man. That is so messed up. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying. Trevor's saying Charlotte's new ownership, they're hesitating to move on from Ball. Well, I mean, he's their cash cow as far as a draw. The kids want to come see him. The Hornets in some ways get attendance just because of LaMelo, but he's not a winning type player. So if they want to be a serious team, they've got to pick a different franchise player, honestly. They'd be better off building around Brandon Miller and trying to build a team around him from what they have existing. But they may be better off just getting a whole new franchise player in general on top of that. But yeah, Charlotte's a mess. Thank God we're not Charlotte. Let's just put it that way. James saying, do you think the Wizards going to be a problem in a couple of years? They got a lot of young talent, also some Canadian players. Sarr, Bilal, Carrington, Keyshawn, George, Cam Whitmer. No. And this is the same pattern they've had all along. The Wizards, since Wes Unseld, have been a losing team. And they've had great draft picks for 40 years, and they've never, ever gotten out of there. So, no, don't believe just because they got good young talent that they're on their way up. No, because usually what happens is even when they get good talent, they get vultured off of their team to go to other teams. The good players don't stick around when they have free agency decisions because they're like, well, I could wait, have a better chance to win. So I don't see it. Some people would say, yeah, Wizards are going to start getting dangerous. Well, I'll believe it when I see it, because honestly, they've said this about different cores for the Wizards for a long, long time. Whether it's we go way back to the Wizards of Weber, Howard, and Murzan and Calbert Chaney. You can say it about more recent Wizards with Wall and Beal and teams like that. No, they never get out of the mud. Just because they get the talent, just because it seems like they've got young guys that will make them better, something goes wrong in some way. Whether it's the good ones actually leave or they fumble in the front office and make poor trades where they shouldn't have, yeah, I don't have any faith in the Wizards organization to get to being a winning team, because even if they draft well, they haven't shown a history when they've gotten so many high draft picks that they've gotten out of the mud. So that's kind of the way I look at it, James, right there. All right, I'm really close to 2 hours. Can we do this, guys? Can we get the classic card in the next minute so I can sign off and be right done at 2 hours? I don't even know what the card is yet. I'm going to pull it out, and we're going to grab it. Oh, crap. Which one? I grabbed 2 cards by accident. Let's do this one. Let's do this one right here. All right, guys, full name answer right away. I need my classic card people right on it right now. Who is that? It's easy. Come on now. We know who this is. Who is this guy? Full name answer. I'll put him up real close, right in your face. Full name answer. Please, we got 45 seconds. We're on the clock, guys. We don't want to get to 2 hours. Dennis Schroeder. No, that guy has no hair. And this guy's 6'9", 6'10". And this is a classic card, Fiercey. This is not Dennis Schroeder. This is a classic card. This is a guy from, there we go. Thank you, Isaac. Isaac got in there and got it. Tyrone Hill. Did he ever pay Charles Oakley for that gambling bet that he owed him? Did he ever pay him that? Did he do it? No, I don't know. In some ways, he took it out in blood. That's right. He took it out in blood on the court in the classic Iverson versus Carter Philadelphia series. I'm going to give you 150 points for this one. Isaac Campbell getting Tyrone Hill on the classic card today. All right, let's get out of here. Ottawa, stand up. Slug DZ, you're just behind. You're just behind. Tyrone Hill is right. Oh, no. Let's go. All right, boom. I'm out. It's 2 hours. Tomorrow, Saturday Share the Love Club. Grady Dick. We're going to share the love for Grady tomorrow on the show, 9:30 a.m. So bring in your best love for Grady Dick tomorrow morning. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go, Raptors. Let's go, Blue Jays. Let's go, Tempo.